Hello, welcome, my name's Sybonn and I'm going to be checking out some of the amazing stuff in Terraria 1.2. This video is about bosses, and this is one of many videos which I'm going to be talking about some of the crazy stuff that's been added to Terraria. So check them out in the description. I'll put links, and I'm going to put links at the end of this video, or just check out my channel. Throw me a like if you can before you leave. If you liked it, it'll help me out basically. So bosses. Brain of Cthulhu is kind of the first one I'm going to talk about. That's found in the Crimson. It's kind of the alternative to the Corruption Zone Eater of Worlds. Basically you have to crack open 3 demon hearts, which is the same kind of thing as the Shadow Warps in Corruption Zone. So it's very similar in that sense, and also the hearts drop items, which I speak about in the Crimson Biome video, which is like Undertaker gun and things like that. They're pretty strong, so it's worth checking out some of those different drops. You can also craft a bloody spine in the Crimson altars, or the demon altars. I think you can do that in the demon altars as well. You need 15 vertebrae, which are dropped by any of the creatures in Crimson. It's another way of spawning the Brain of Cthulhu. If you haven't quite had enough the first time around, you can keep spawning it up. The brain can't be damaged straight away, so bear that in mind when you're fighting it. So don't waste your bullets or anything and your time on trying to get hold of the brain, because it's not going to get hurt. It's going to teleport its way around you, and it's not really going to try and do anything until the second stage, which is when you kill all the little creeper eyes. So get rid of those as soon as you possibly can. And the second phase, it starts ramming you. It flies around and rams you, teleporting, dealing quite a lot of damage, and it's faster. Obviously it's just going to get more intense as it goes on. The tip I'd say that I picked up is to use spears, and that's what I'm going to use when I'm taking it on. You need something with heavy knockback on it, multiple hitting. Flare guns are good for the creeper eyes, so if you want to get rid of those, it sets them on fire, which is always a good antidote to any little creeper eyes that are coming at you. It makes them retract as well, so it gets rid of them out of the way. The drops for it are mostly like, you've got the trophies, which are kind of the added things that are with the 1.2, which I think are just for sort of visual thing. If I'm wrong, please write in the comments and tell me what else I can do with these trophies, because I haven't really seen much about them yet. It drops a load of crimtane as well, tissue samples, which are both used to make armor sets and weapons and all the like of that. So it's very similar to the Eater of Worlds in that sense, the way it drops things. So that is kind of one of the key ones you kind of want to sort of attack first, I think, just to get them out of the way. Next one I want to talk about is the Queen Bee, which is summoned by smashing the lava jar in the honey biome, which is found within the underground jungle. So it's like a biome within a biome. I'll speak about that in another video, the biome video, so you can check out that and see what things you can find in there. And you can also spawn it by the Abomination, it's called. You have such a long list of like a recipe of stuff you need to get that summoned anyway, but that is something you have to keep doing if you run out of jars. I don't know how frequently these jars get spawned. There's quite a few honey biomes within the underground jungle, so I think you should be able to have a quick, good couple of goes before you have any problem. But the Abomination does allow it to be summoned anywhere in the jungle. It doesn't have to be within the honey biome then. It kind of gets a bit upset. And watch what you're doing when you're going around the honey hive. If you're not prepared, you can very easily accidentally smash it. You can smash it with a grappling hook. So that's talking from experience. So yeah, if you're not ready, don't upset the Queen, the Royal Highness the Queen, by smashing a little jar of a little lava thing. But basically, to start off with, it flies backwards and forwards trying to ram you, and periodically it kind of slows down and kind of hovers above you, trying to shoot things out of the bum with a sort of a bottom bee gun. And yeah, it shoots at bees out, which are really irritating and really small, so it's hard to hit them. But I'd suggest don't attack her when she's ramming backwards and forwards, like going like a madman. Wait for her to slow down, and taking a chill pill, and attack her then. I think it's the best time to attack her. She drops the bee gun obviously out of the bum, and yeah, and a beekeeper I'll talk about some of these weapons, because I think these are quite interesting ones, these ones, in my other video, the weapons video. Bee gun, beekeeper sword, honeycombs, nectar, hive wand, some bee accessories so you can dress up like a bee, which is a bit nerdy, but it looks pretty cool, to be honest. Nectar, hive wand, bee nade, which I'll speak about in the weapons link, which that's pretty cool. I want some of those. Trophy, obviously, and bottled honey. So she dropped quite a lot of stuff. Obviously not all the same time, so they're kind of like a randomised kind of amount of drops. So bear that in mind, so you might have to destroy her a couple of times. Poor queen. But yeah, somebody's got to die in the making of this little story. So next one that's been added is a Plantera, which is a hard mode boss, and that thing only gets spawned when you destroy the destroyer or the twins or Skeleton Pine. So you've got to get rid of them, and it will tell you a little notification at the bottom saying that something's been planted in the jungle biome, which is basically one of those bulbs. It's bright pink, so you can't miss it. It glows. It also shows up on the map, which I think is a bit of a strange one, but it does make it easy to find, so I'm not complaining, to be honest. So that is something to bear in mind. You've got to pick at it with a pickaxe or a drill. You can't blow it up or something like that, so don't try and do something alternative with it, because you'll just lose the chance of attacking the Plantera. That's the bulb that you're attacking there. So once you like start it off, it's not really a her, is it? Start it off, it'll crawl around with little hooky vine things around the screen. It does move with you, but if you go too far away from it, it does despawn, and so you can take it to the top. So if you've made like a little boss cage on the surface, you can sort of draw it towards that, which can make it a lot easier, because you've got to dodge all these little you've got like these little spikes it spits at you, spiky balls at you. So when you land on the ground, bear in mind there's a lot of spiky balls probably sitting there, so just watch what you're doing. Once it gets down to about sort of half health or quite damaged, the pink blood falls away, and it turns into like the business end of a Plantera, and it attacks you faster, and it attacks you with little projectile things, like little like wall of flesh kind of little eater things. So yeah, you've got those to contend with, little tentacles, that's the word I was looking for. So yeah, you've got to sort of deal with that. You've got little pink spores floating after you. So yeah, you've got a bit of a fight on, but it is hard mode at the end of the day. So what can you expect? It 100% the first time drops a grenade launcher with rockets and a temple key. Temple key is quite key, I think. Like, didn't mean that to mix in as well as it did, but yeah, it's quite key. From then on, it drops random stuff like the axe, which is kind of like a guitar kind of weapon. Pygmy staff. Pygmy staff's really interesting. If you checked out my other video with the NPCs, you can see that the witch doctor actually allows you to sort of spawn more pygmies, which are basically the little minions that attack things for you. So that's pretty cool. Venus Magnum, Nettle Burst, which is another staff. Leaf Blower, not entirely sure what that is, I need to check that. Flower Power, which is kind of like a ball and chain kind of thing. Wasp Gun, I talk about that in my weapons video. That is the upgrade to the bee gun, so that's pretty interesting. Obviously a trophy, so you get a trophy. Sort of the key thing I'd say about trying to attack it is to keep it at distance, basically, so mega sharks all around, and try and clear out the area around it, so you've got a bit of maneuverability, because you're going to have to dodge a lot by the looks of things, because it's not a happy playing Terraria. It get really funky. So that's kind of the biggest suggestion I could say, or taking it to the surface is another way. But again, like I said, don't stray too far, because it will despawn and it will lose interest, I think, is the main thing. The last added boss is Golem, and that's found in the Lizard hard mode again, Lizard dungeon, which is right at the bottom of sort of the jungle and everything. He has his own little boss area. It's already pre-planned out for you. He's quite strong by the looks of things. I haven't fought him, and I'm not looking forward to it, to be honest. It kind of jumps around and it fires fists at you, flame balls, everything. And then the second stage, its head comes off after its sort of half health has gone off its head. Its head comes off, like I said, and it shoots out lasers. So yeah, it's a bit of a tough one, and it will speed up and jump out. So it's going to be a hard one, I think. But you can. It seems like it's quite easy to set up a little system to put in like platforms, so it spawns on top of the platforms. So it keeps it well out of the way, so you can stand underneath it and attack it. Like I said in one of my other videos, with the weapons is the stinger and the golem fist that it drops are really strong. Well, the stinger is the most strongest against it. Strangely, as soon as it drops its health, but obviously it's not going to help you until you killed it the first time. So, or the second time, because it's not 100% going to be dropping that stinger. It also drops stinger bolts, processed hatchet, stun stone, eye of the golem, pick saw, heat ray, staff of the earth, and obviously the trophy, and a greater healing potion, which is 100% likely to drop that, so it's something interesting to try out. So that's the new bosses. I think they're pretty tough, and I'm not looking forward to some of the hard mode ones. I haven't even beaten the Wall of Flesh yet, because I'm still that new to the actual game, but I've been playing enough of it to know it's going to be quite tough, so it's going to be quite interesting. I'm going to be doing my own series of Terraria 1.2, so check that out, so subscribe so you can join me and help me out. It'd be really helpful. If you've got any comments about any of the things I've missed, put in the comments, and like if you liked it. Check out the links at the end to check out my other videos and see if you learn anything else. So thanks for watching, join me next time, thanks, bye.